to GottaBeReel movie reviews with Thommi
Hey.
and Jules. And right now we're doing a special double feature review of the Coming to America movies.
Coming to Americas.
Coming to Americas.
Gotta love our cheesiness, don't you?
So we'll start with part one.
Yes. Take it back a little bit and then move on into part two. Because we all know part one, but we still want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
And most of the people that were in part one, you'll
Part
find
two?
out, are in part two.
Mm-hmm. Yep, very few of them.
So part one is rated R, actually, even though I am sure
Yep.
so many children have seen it. They've been showing it on TV all the time now since part two came out. You know, it's pretty much fun for the family.
I'm wondering if they're editing certain parts, like, you know, when the girl's in the water and comes up, your royal blankety blank is cleaned, Your Highness.
Yeah.
Like, there's stuff like that.
On TV, yes.
So I'm wondering, they probably edited that out or changed the words, you know, with a dub over or something. But anyway, all right, tell us who starred in our very first Coming to America.
All right. Well, of course, you know Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall, James Earl Jones,
That's a dude.
Sherry Headley,
That was Lisa.
John Amos,
All right, from McDowell's.
and of course, a guest appearance by none other than Samuel L. Jackson.
Ding, Robin the joint. Robin.
He's in everything.
And now you look at this dude and he's like major A-lister. And look at some of the roles he took on when he was, you know, younger.
Right?
But man, he's a bad man with
paid his
Gemma though.
dues.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson's a bad man with Gemma. I want him as my Google voice, my for navigation.
You should do that.
I've tagged them and Google has not responded to me for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'll have to do that
You should
again.
do that like it's available. You should write him.
Yes, I will write them. Okay. All right, so let's go over just a quick run through of what Coming to America 1 was about.
All right, so Eddie Murphy plays Prince Akeem, and Arsenio Hall plays like his
Footstool.
his
Footstool.
servant guy. And he's supposed to get married. He has an arranged marriage, but he decides that he wants to find true love. He doesn't just want to marry some woman he's never seen or talked to or anything before in his life.
And prearranged marriages back in the day used to be a big thing. You know, you're going to marry his son because, you know, he's a banker and you got to have kids and that's how the family is. That's how you're going to be successful. There was no falling in love. They wanted you to marry
that
you
still
off.
goes on today in some families.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Okay.
I mean, sometimes it works, from what I understand. Yeah.
And maybe it's in their head that that's what they have to do. Maybe they're conditioned to it.
Plus, sometimes the family knows. The family knows what you like. Not to say that I am not married. I am not in a prearranged one. I'm just saying for those people that are out there that may see this review, I know, I feel you. You're making it work. Some of you.
Good for them.
Good for you.
So Prince Akeem leaves Zamunda, goes to America.
They spin the globe and they land on America, and of course, you know it's New York or LA, and then of course, since New York wins, it's Queens.
And they're rude in New York. They're so rude.
You're gonna alienate our New Yorkers.
No, I'm not, because they know it's true. Everybody blows their horn all day long, even though the traffic's not going anywhere. I almost froze my face off when I went to Broadway in the winter time. Oh my gosh. I like the shot there, y'all cool and everything, but anywho. He goes to Queens. And he decides to get a job where? And
I've never been to New York, but I love your accents, and we have a lot of New Yorkers here. Thank you. All right. Yes.
Anywho. So Prince Akeem goes, he gets a job at McDowell's, not McDonald's, McDowell's.
Not the Golden Arches, but
the Golden Arcs. And they put their McFlurry in the bottom of the cup.
Yeah.
So anywho, it's really funny because John Amos, we know him from Good Times. He was the father, James. He's been acting for a very, 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 very long time.
You want to add another very on that?
He has, but you know, he still looks nice. He's not, you know, he doesn't look his age at all, so he's still doing it.
He looks great.
Yeah, he does. So, and this is, so when Lisa, at first she's with this, you know, Jerry curl wearing dude, Daryl, who thinks he's like the hottest thing ever. Yeah. But what ends up happening is, you know, she meets Akeem. They fall in love. Daryl gets kicked to the curb. Well, her sister picked her up.
Daryl is played by Eric LaSalle.
Yeah, and it's hilarious. The whole Jerry curl soul glow thing, you will see so many jokes referencing that. So if you haven't seen Coming to America 1, shame on you. Shame, shame, shame.
Shame on your head.
Yes. All right. But anyway.
If you're black, double shame and hand us over your card so we can...
It's such a universal movie now, though. I mean, Coming to America and the characters that Eddie Murphy creates particularly the barbershop characters. Those old men will clown on you right in front of your face, from your head to your toe, and it's hilarious. I love Eddie Murphy. He's so multi-talented. He pretty much does everything. He can sing and act and comedian. But anyways, a lot of these characters are from Eddie Murphy. So they get married and then go to Zamunda, right?
Yes.
Then comes part 2. What could possibly be wrong?
But wait, in part 1, I loved at the end, there's an end scene where the old Eddie Murphy is dressed as an old white guy, Jewish guy.
Yeah, in the barbershop.
And he's telling the joke. I love that joke. When he's talking about he's in a restaurant, he has some soup, and he asks the waiter to taste the soup. The waiter's like, "What's wrong with the soup? Taste the soup. Is the soup too cold, or just taste the soup? I need a spoon." Aha. Aha.
They're such smart A's, aren't they? They are such smart A's. But these are the people like you would love in your neighborhood. You know, the staples. You know, if you walk past the barbershop, you're going to see Mr. Eddie and all his friends just sitting there clowning. So they're the fun staples. And I'm so glad they made it back to part 2.
Yeah.
So who was in part 2? Now, this part 2, whew,
Part 2.
Star-studded. From the actors to the actresses to the musical. Oh my god, just a whole shebang. Tell us about part 2.
Whole shaboozle.
Oh, get up.
That's when they made it's PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you know what? Now, since the first one was made,
Mm-hmm.
you're allowed to say many more words on
yeah.
TV. Like,
Yeah.
you're allowed to say the S word. I'm not going to say it on here because I don't know YouTube's rules like that.
Well, you're looking at like if it's Amazon or something. That's kind of different from just
no, but regular schmegular TV.
I've never heard that word.
Well, like okay, cable, but not like even the not like HBO and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm talking like TNT, like MTV, like whatever VH1. You could say the S word, right? So they started letting people say the S word, and I only heard it like one time during a show. Now, just the other day, I heard them say the S word like 3, 4, 5 times. So I guess that's not really a cuss word anymore. So what's next? The F word?
I think we'll probably leave the F-bomb out.
Probably.
but I'm
let
interested.
them mouth it and they don't like cover it or turn the camera.
Well, see, this movie was originally going to go to the theaters, but because of the pandemic, Amazon ended up picking it up.
Yes. Thank you, Amazon.
Yeah, like it.
All right, so this second part is also starring Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, Jermaine Fowler, Leslie Jones.
Love her. Leslie, I love her.
Tracy Morgan.
All right.
Kiki Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Sherry Headley, of course, because she's his wife.
The Lisa.
Tiana Taylor makes an appearance.
And a great appearance she made.
Wesley Snipes. He's outlandish.
I was digging him as his character. I wasn't a huge fan, but I was digging his character and his hair. Go ahead.
And James Earl Jones is back. But you know what? What was it? You had James Earl Jones and
Morgan Freeman,
the two most known voices.
They're so distinct
voices like in the world in one movie.
And James Earl Jones, I mean, I've always loved him, but I always remember him in Conan. He was an evil snake turning. But anyways, the man has been awesome all of his career. He does so much voiceover work too. Yeah. Like you said, him, Morgan Freeman, their voices are very distinct. There's no way you cannot know that that's either one of them when they're talking.
Yeah, that was awesome. Then you have an array of musical artists, which includes En Vogue, Salt and Pepper, and Gladys Knight.
Yes, and they were beautiful. The performances were beautiful. Let me first talk about, if I can, the costumes. To die for, the colors, the cinematography in here. And the lady did a rendition of Jackie Wilson's To Be Loved. Oh my gosh. Don't act like you didn't almost cry on that part. I'm not going to say it in case somebody didn't see it yet, but oh my gosh, just the soundtrack in here is lovely. That's what I tell them about the synopsis. I just had to say that.
So we pick up years later, and Prince Hakeem and his wife have had 3 children, all of which are girls.
Little warrior chicks too.
Yeah.
My little girls.
If you remember right, it's a misogynistic
yeah, if that
place.
is still the yep.
And so really, even though the oldest daughter wants to be queen someday,
After Prince of
they're
King goes
really
on.
looking to have a man to be king. And so Wesley Snipes' character is like trying to get his Prince
son.
Akeem to have his son marry her,
which is
daughter.
Dre from Power. As soon as I seen his face, I was like, ooh. But yeah. Then his daughters ain't trying to have no arranged marriages. You know, this is 2021.
Right.
Their women are warriors. They're fierce. And she is not trying to marry this fool.
You're right. So then we find out, when they were in Queen,
Back in the day.
Prince Akeem impregnated a woman.
And he didn't even realize he impregnated a woman, which is
Yeah.
Leslie Jones.
And they have a son. So,
Yes.
you know what bothered me about this movie kind of a little bit, and then I had to just let it go, is they say, okay, you have a son, and they sketched a picture of what they thought he looked like and stuff. Not once, ever, the whole time, do they DNA test this guy. They just accept, that he's a son, and they're going to make him the king of a whole country.
More than needed to go into the story. I don't even get DNA test, but we get it.
They're giving him money and flying him here and there and giving him access to stuff.
He proves himself, though. He proves himself.
Yeah, but he still, we don't.
Well, he gonna be.
His mom even says she's a hoe. So I mean.
Yeah, I mean, they hooked up at the club. She was pretty much like, y'all pretending like y'all Prince and this and that. You ain't got a lie to get a piece of this.
You know, it's not even like he looked like Eddie Murphy or something.
No.
So, I mean, I'd be DNA testing. But so you have to let that go. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't seen it yet, just be prepared to let that go because it ain't going to happen. Okay?
Okay. So then the Wesley Snipes character. He tries to push his daughter off when he finds out that Prince Akeem has a son.
Yes.
Tiana Taylor.
Yes.
She walks in this costume and this magnificent fro and does this dance, and it was all so fierce. The whole scene was all so fierce. Now she's beautiful, of course, and his son is like, yeah, I'm cool with that. You know, this stuff is also exciting for him and new. He's like, yeah, do it.
She comes out and she's dancing and she's doing the belly dance type stuff. So why would he not say he's cool with that?
He's a young man
from Queens. You just got a free trip to Africa. You found out your dad is rich. He's giving you money. He's got these women bathing you, and God knows what when they're bathing them.
Leslie Jones got bathed.
And now they're like, here's this gorgeous woman prepared to be your wife. Do you expect him to say something other than yes?
Well, how about we let people decide? What do you think he's gonna do? Is he gonna go ahead and marry her? Is he going to be like his dad and stray off and find his own love?
True love.
That's what the depth of the movie is about.
Yeah.
And you got this warrior played by Wesley Snipes, who's basically like, either my son is going to marry your daughter, or your son is going to marry mine, or we coming to blows.
Right. And
like
then you also have Prince Akeem's oldest daughter.
Oh yeah.
Are they going to let her be the queen and change the rules, or are they sticking with having a man as king?
And I like that part of the movie because, like you said, women can't have businesses. A queen, no, it needs to be a king. Very misogynistic, but it's addressed in here and it's addressed very properly. And I do like the outcome of it. This movie is hilarious. It's very relatable to stuff you see now on TV. That's why I think a lot of people enjoyed it. The fact that his little girls were such little warriors, I was like, come on, baby girls.
It's like your nieces right there.
Yes, they were warriors. And I love that about them, that eventually their role as strong women and it's time to change needs to come here in Zamunda. It all came full circle. So there's quite a few lessons here. And love is still there. And we still got our McDowell's.
Yep.
Introducing a new burger. You're going to laugh this whole movie. Thus far, I watched it 6 times. And I laughed. I kid you not.
The second one?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's so funny, and I just put it on, and I really enjoyed it. The guest appearances really got to me. And this was filmed at Rick Ross's house. Mansion. Pardon me. Yeah, this was filmed at Rick.
And he was in it too. He had a little cameo.
He was one of the soldiers.
It's his house.
Yes.
Why not?
It was fantastic.
Lots. You just have to keep looking out because there's lots of surprises.
Yes.
And lots of star power. And it wasn't just the main characters that they had back. They brought back some surprises.
Oh, the surprises that you're going to get back are not only hilarious, but there was one, and I won't say what it's about. When I heard them start talking to introduce, I started getting extra excited. Sexy chocolate. But I was so happy. I was so happy. I showed them. I was so happy to see all these cameos that came back, and Eddie Murphy intentionally wanted these particular people to come back. You know, kind of tied everything in together, and it was cute, reminiscing. Still got the old guys in the barbershop straight clowning him, both of them. But no, I think this was a real good one. And you know what? In '88, when the first one came out, it grossed over 129 million. That's a lot for back in the 80s. Mm-hmm. It did fantastic. But now that Amazon has bought it, more money. Yeah, with the reruns and stuff. Yeah,
the DVDs and all that.
Especially now, I'm sure the rentals went up for that for part 1 since this came out. Because you need to watch part 1 before you go into 2, because a lot of stuff is going to be so relatable and it ties in to the first movie.
But you don't absolutely have to. So if you haven't seen it and you don't know where to find it, or you don't care about seeing part 1, you can see part 2 and just enjoy it.
I would highly recommend watching 1 first, though. Yeah, it's recommended. I mean, when they walk back in the barber shop, it's a lot of jokes in there that you'll get better if you watch part 1 first.
I did appreciate the fact that they use clips from the first one to help explain the story in the second one.
A little bit.
So, like I said, if you haven't seen it in a long time and you don't feel like watching 2 movies in one night, but you want to see part 2, then you could still go ahead and watch part 2 and you won't be lost or anything.
Yeah, they gave you a brief one. And there's end credits. After the end credits, rather.
Yeah.
You see some bloopers.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get a magnificent surprise at the end. I have to let you see that one on your own. Yeah. You're just going to be like, oh my gosh.
And another joke from the Eddie Murphy dressed as an old Jewish
one of the barbershop dudes.
It wasn't as good as the first movie, but yeah.
Humor's a little bit different now than it was back in the 80s.
Yeah. But no, that's always funny. The soup and the no spoon. Come on.
They're such smart. They're told you they're little smart ass.
I thought this movie was good, but I thought it was a little silly.
I liked it.
I would watch it again, but some of it was a little over the top for my taste.
Well, it's on Amazon. So if you got Amazon Prime, you can go ahead and pull it up and watch it. I'm curious to see. I do want to check. I want to see how much they made off the movie. Because like we said, it was supposed to go to the theaters. Amazon ended up buying it. So I'm curious to know how much they bought it for, and maybe if there's residuals. Eddie Murphy's a smart business guy. So
yes, he is.
I'm curious just to trying to see what they worked out for that one.
So we're going to do clappers for this since this is a new movie?
Yes. And you know what? I think let me see. Is there anything? Probably not little kids due to some of the bathing scenes that are insinuated. So maybe not the little kids. I would say your high teens and up.
Especially with old dude's mom.
Yes.
Jones' character.
Teens and up, because there's definitely some heavy sexual reference, in there. But yeah, make sure they're your teens. I'm going with the 3.5. I'm giving it a solid 3.5 because I really did enjoy this.
After all that love you just gave it, only 3.5?
3.5, yeah.
Just teasing.
That's not only. That's a good strong 3.5.
I'm messing with you.
How many
I would give it 3.
A 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're kind of in the same boat. Yeah. So like I said, just watch it. Fun movie night for the family. Pull it up on Amazon. Even if you don't have Amazon, rent it for a month or whatever. It's cool to watch it. You'll get some laughs out of it. Yeah. So
since they had like Wakanda forever, I'm gonna say
Zamunda
forever.
Did you just do a Z?
Yes. I did a Z.
Is that trademarked?
Zorro, maybe.
See, yeah, that's where you got it from. Is Zorro?
Sorry,
Zorro. You gonna have beef with Zorro for that?
Okay. Zamunda. Okay, never mind.
Never mind. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Girl,
GottaBeReel movie reviews with Thommi. That is me. With Jules, that is her. Don't forget, we are on Facebook. Like, comment. We're on YouTube. Subscribe, comment. And we are on Instagram. Follow us. Chit chat with us. Tell us what you want to see. We'll do it. It can be classic. It can be new. Let us know what we can do for you. And thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.